can do. So let's go ahead and start it off with first things first. Before you even file for your tax refund, you need all of the documentation in order to make sure that you don't have to go back and do some type of amendment or anything like that. So I have some sample documents here for you guys to look at. This one is a W-2 form. If you have not already received your W-2 form by your employer, they are wrong. Those documents should have gotten to you by the end of January. So you definitely need to contact your employer if you don't have your W-2 form. It will look something along the lines of this. It may be a lot longer, there may be multiple pages, but it should look something along the lines of having the employer's information as well as your EIN number, your wages that you had for this year, Social Security, any type of retirement that came out, and also the employer's information for state taxes and if you had any income tax that was taken out as well. So this will be one of the main documents, if not the main one, that you will need, especially if you were employed anytime during 2024. Can't just use one, you have to use all of the W-2s that you received. So if you work for multiple companies, you have to make sure that you get all of that documentation from each company. Next here we have what's called a 1098 form, and that's the tuition statement form. So if you did go to school at all last year in 2024, you want to make sure that the school or the schools that you went to school at, they provide you with this form because you can get some type of reimbursement back for what was paid out of pocket and what you paid for school. I used to use this a lot when I was in school, and especially when I was paying out of pocket, I was able to receive a portion or a percentage back of what I paid out, and trust me, it was totally worth it. I wish that I could do this now, but I'm not currently in school. You don't have to be like college age of like 20 years old. If you are going to school at 40 years old and you are paying out of pocket, please make sure that you get this documentation. Another document that you want to make sure that you have is the 1099 form. Now this form is for if you are like an independent contractor. So let's say that you're working for a company, but they're not paying you benefits. They're not taking out any type of insurance. They state that maybe it's like freelance work for you or you're contracted to work with them, but you have to pay your own taxes. They should be providing you with a 1099 form. It will look something like this, probably not as spacey because I just got this off of the internet just to show you guys what the form should look like, but it should also still have like the payer's name as well as the recipient, the TIN number, the EIN number, how much that you actually earned with that company, all of that, and what state that you are in. So you want to make sure that you have this as well as additional documentation that may be coming into you. I know for me that I still have some documents that are still coming to me by email for investment accounts. So if you've had like a checking or savings or any type of brokerage account that you've had with a brokerage company such as Vanguard, Fidelity, Stash, Moomoo, and you have earned some type of interest from those accounts for the year of 2024, they should also be sending you documentation that you can use in order to file. As well as one more thing that I'm going to say is childcare expenses. If you had childcare expenses for 2024, whether it was an in-home daycare center, which I have used in the past, and I was able to file that way with the person's EIN number, or if it was an establishment where your child went to a childcare center, they should be providing you also with some type of form in order for you to be able to file. As well as there's so many other documents that you would need, but you want to make sure that you gather all your documents first before you start filing so that there's no issues and no problems later on as far as your tax refund or if you happen to need to owe the IRS. All right.